The tariffs.
Reciprocal tariffs.
Tremendous tariffs.
The reciprocal tariff rate.
The tariffs.
Actually, Canada is taking away some retaliatory tariffs.
He's removing his tariffs, yeah.
Exactly.
He's removing his retaliatory tariffs, which I thought was nice. And we're going to have another call soon.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a very good call.
You're getting closer towards an
Well, I
agreement
like
on
him.
trade?
I like him. You know, look, I'm fighting for the United States. Canada and Mexico take a lot of our business over the years, over 25, 30 years.
Did you hear that? That's the sound of a giant falling. Boeing, America's aerospace titan, the industrial crown jewel, just handed over billions in contracts. Not to Seattle, not to Wichita, but to Canada. Yes, our closest neighbor just outmaneuvered the United States in its own backyard. And the fallout? It could cripple American jobs for an entire generation. Before we go further, smash that subscribe button, because what you're about to hear is something you won't see on mainstream headlines. And drop a comment below. Do you believe this is the beginning of the end for U.S. aerospace dominance? I want to hear your take. Now, buckle up. Because this isn't just about Canada winning some contracts. This is about a silent war, a quiet economic coup that's been unfolding for years. On the surface, it looks like a trade story, maybe just another business deal, but behind the curtain, it's a carefully orchestrated move that has stunned Washington, rattled the stock market, and sent shockwaves across every Boeing plant in America. Here's how it happened. Boeing has been suffocating under tariffs and political pressure, particularly after aggressive policies from the Trump administration. Tariffs meant to protect U.S. jobs backfired, squeezing supply chains and ballooning production costs. Canada seized the moment. Ottawa stepped in with bold subsidies and strategic partnerships, positioning Canadian aerospace firms like Bombardier to snap up Boeing's long-term contracts, once thought untouchable. In an instant, critical work on fuselage assembly, avionics components, and maintenance packages moved north of the border. For American workers in Missouri, Kansas, and Washington state, it was a gut punch. For Canada, it was a coronation. But this isn't just numbers on a spreadsheet. It's a reshaping of an industry that once defined America's global power. And what's coming next could change everything you thought you knew about manufacturing. Dominance in the West. If you think this is shocking, wait until you hear how deep the cuts go. This isn't just Boeing's problem. This is America's problem. Stick around for those who want receipts. I've linked every source in the description. Check them out. Picture this: Everett, Washington, a sprawling Boeing plant once alive, with the sound of thousands of skilled workers building the planes that carried American might across the globe. Now, silence, layoffs ripple through entire towns. Restaurants close early, school budgets shrink. Entire neighborhoods hold their breath, waiting for the next round of pink slips. This is the unseen devastation of Canada's aerospace takeover. Georgetown University economists estimate that for every aerospace job lost, 3 more vanish in surrounding industries: retail, healthcare, local services. One factory shutdown doesn't just hurt workers, it sends entire communities into economic freefall. It's not just Washington state. Wichita, Kansas, once dubbed the air capital of the world, is bleeding jobs. St. Louis, home to Boeing's defense and space division, isn't immune either. Suppliers once split orders between defense and civilian projects. Now, those supply lines are fractured, leaving small machine shops across the Midwest on life support. A Dallas avionics supplier said it bluntly: "We invested millions to scale up for Boeing. Now those investments are stranded, and it doesn't stop there." U.S. steel mills, rare earth processors, and electronics manufacturers, all tied to aerospace production, are facing a slow, suffocating decline. What started as a trade spat has become a domino effect, a systematic erosion of one of America's last great industrial sectors. This isn't just about jobs. It's about pride, heritage, and generational expertise. Families who've built planes for 40 years are suddenly adrift, watching their life's work shift northward. And while Washington fumes, Canada celebrates. Ottawa's calculated moves are more than business strategy. They're a statement. American industrial dominance is no longer guaranteed, But if you think the human toll is bad, wait until you see the geopolitical storm this shift has unleashed. Because Boeing isn't just a company, it's a weapon of influence. And Canada's play is shaking the very balance of power. You'll want to see what's next. For proof, dive into the sources in the description. For decades, Boeing wasn't just a company, it was a symbol. American engineering, American reach, American supremacy. Airlines bought Boeing jets not just for quality, but because they represented the world's leading superpower. But Canada's rise changes everything. With contracts now locked in Quebec and Ontario, Ottawa isn't just winning business, it's rewriting global perceptions of aerospace power. This didn't happen overnight. Canada has spent years cultivating a skilled workforce and investing in aerospace hubs around Montreal and Toronto. Bombardier's modest rise laid the groundwork for this coup. When U.S. tariffs disrupted Boeing's supply chain, Canada was waiting ready to offer stability. Suddenly, Canada isn't just a junior partner, it's a competitor with teeth. NATO allies are watching closely, and rivals like China and Russia are taking notes. If Canada can carve out a slice of Boeing's empire, what's stopping Beijing's COMAC from grabbing more market share? This is more than economics, it's diplomacy. Defense exports, military alliances, and geopolitical leverage are all tied to aerospace supremacy. Ottawa now has bargaining chips Washington never thought it would lose. NATO partners are quietly recalibrating procurement strategies, seeing Canada as a stabilizing force compared to Washington's volatility. In Asia, the symbolism cuts deep. Nations like Japan and South Korea, long reliant on Boeing, are eyeing Canadian suppliers as a safer bet. US-grade tech without political turbulence. This isn't just a business pivot, it's a realignment of trust. Meanwhile, Boeing's stock plunges. Pension funds in Illinois and New York take billion-dollar hits, and Ottawa? It's positioning itself as a global aerospace hub, one capable of delivering not just parts, but influence. This is a tectonic shift, and it's only the beginning. Because if Boeing's crown can be taken, what's next? Could America's entire manufacturing dominance unravel? Stick around because the next revelation may shock you more than anything so far. And as always, every claim here is sourced and linked below for your scrutiny. Now, here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. This isn't just about Canada or Boeing. It's a glimpse into a future where America's industrial throne is up for grabs. And if this aerospace saga proves anything, it's that the US isn't untouchable. Canada's success isn't luck, it's strategy. Ottawa built resilience through decades of investment, creating a network of skilled engineers, global partnerships, and political leverage. The result? A new aerospace order where Canadian cities like Montreal and Toronto could rival Seattle and Wichita. This has consequences far beyond jobs. Supply chains are quietly rewriting themselves. Materials that once flowed through American ports now head north. International investors, burned by Washington's unpredictability, are pouring billions into Canadian manufacturing, and U.S. rivals are circling, sensing opportunity. In Beijing, analysts are already calling this a proof of concept. If an ally like Canada can shake America's aerospace dominance, what could China do with its massive state-backed aerospace industry? But here's where it gets darker. This isn't isolated. This is a pattern. From semiconductors to green tech, industries that once defined America's supremacy are fragmenting. Boeing's loss to Canada is just the canary in the coal mine. So, what happens now? Washington faces a choice: double down on tariffs and protectionism, or admit that its policies helped push business away. Meanwhile, Canada is quietly locking in more deals, consolidating power while America argues over politics. We are witnessing a shift that historians may one day call the Great Industrial Reversal, and the first battle was fought not with bombs or ballots, but with aerospace contracts. If this video opened your eyes, don't just watch, engage. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and share this with someone who needs to see it. Comment below, is this Canada's rise or America's fall? Your voice matters in this conversation. For those who demand proof, dive into the full list of sources in the description. I've laid out everything for your own research. This story doesn't end here. It starts with you if you want to. Stay ahead of these seismic shifts. Hit that subscribe button right now. Smash the like button so more people see the truth they're not getting from mainstream news. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Is this Canada's rise or America's fall? And share this video with a friend who needs to understand what's coming next.